come in, ma'am?
Please come.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Come and sit down.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So this is a very unusual case. Medical student wanting to get into the IAS. Not that there aren't any earlier, but still. Now, obviously the question comes as to why a doctor wants to get into the IAS.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, both doctor's profession and civil services are valuable services of the nation. But ma'am, my motivation to become a civil servant, it itself came into my MBBS years when I was posted into the clinics. And ma'am, there was one incident when a patient, a 12-year-old girl came to me in the gynecological emergency. And ma'am, she was raped 6 months ago and was even pregnant. And when I talked to her, I realized that she didn't even know what had happened to her. And she hadn't been to school ever, and no primary health service was there. So at that time, it really broke my heart. And I felt that as a doctor, I can help her in the cure, but in a limited way. So I felt that I need a platform where I can have a position of decision making and can have a larger impact as a civil servant. So ma'am, from that time, I started preparing for this. And I feel
what do you think you can do to help in such a situation and other situations which are arising every single day? So what do you think as a civil servant you can do?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as a civil servant, I will have a responsibility and a position where I can have an impact on people. For example, in this case, ma'am, if in my district where I am posted, I am ensuring proper education facilities to children and a proper preventive and a primary healthcare structure where there is a proper first contact between the people and the primary health centers.
But in this case, the problem was not lack of access. She got access to you, you treated her, so that was not the major problem.
But ma'am, she came 6 months later because there was no access to primary healthcare in her own village. And at 6 months of pregnancy, it is a serious concern. So she should have been treated and been sex educated before that, and she should have gone to
school. Can I stop you here? Yes. Just give me bullet points of things that you will do as a policy maker to see that such situations don't arise.
Yes, ma'am.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? No essay.
Ma'am, first, I would like to focus on good education. And second, I would like to have good health care. Number 3, ma'am, ensuring proper security of women and people. Number 4, to ensure proper jobs and ensure policies to have more self-help groups and startups for the people. And ma'am, in that way, I can help in social and economic development of the people.
What does the education consist of?
Accessibility of the children to schools. Then ma'am, focusing on the quality of education. And that will include a proper mentoring to students, proper motivation to them, and proper monitoring of the quality of education.
How is that going to prevent these kinds of sex offenses? How is a general education, how will it prevent?
With education, the children and the students become more aware of the rights, and they become general aware of the surroundings of them. And ma'am, in the schools, there is also sex education which is provided. So in that way, especially girls become aware of their rights, and it also motivates the students and the girls to go for higher education.
At the moment, the problem is not awareness. The girl is quite aware. Most people are aware of their rights. But the point is the environment. They cannot prevent the, so the measures that you are suggesting are very general measures, which don't address the specific problem you are talking about, right? I want to hear something different.
Ma'am, there needs to be proper surveillance so that these kind of security concerns are measured, like surveillance and the proper CCTV cameras for the safety of women and safety of girls. And ma'am, we can have also all girls school and all girls buses and transportation so that these kind of occurrences doesn't occur.
Now we are going back, regressing, all girls schools, all girls thing. There's still not, you're not getting to the crux of the problem.
Ma'am, in the long term, we need an attitudinal change where we break the stereotypes of patriarchy and need women empowerment.
So that is how do you get to that?
Ma'am, for the long term attitudinal change, the measures should come like, first, there should be a gender neutral education in schools. Then ma'am, also like we have social influence and persuasion measures, like in Haryana, there is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which has increased the sex ratio also. Ma'am, then then there are various initiatives like e-rickshaws and celebration of events of a birth child, which are prevalent, and they have a change of mindset of the people. So, and also ma'am, the gender sensitizing measures need to be taken so that men also further take initiatives in cooking classes or the paternity leaves which are occurring. And
so these you mentioned up front.
Right.
First of all, you need sex education. You need sex education not only for the women, but you need most important sex education and other gender education for the boys, for the men, because they are the ones who are continuing to commit these things.
Right.
So it's no use just going on talking to the girls, they already are aware. So the point is not the girls, the target audience is now the men. That why does this happen? And safety is, yes, this is what you have to see. You will have to map out where the trouble spots are. Make sure, so it's specific measures which are required, not sort of general education, environment, this, that and the other. That's not going to help. Whether you are a doctor or whether it makes no difference if you are a civil servant, if you're just going to think in generalities.
Right, ma'am.
Okay. Have you any idea about the world around you? Do you know what event ended the World War II?
Ma'am, there was formation of UN at the end of the World War II.
But why?
Ma'am, because in the end Japan surrendered.
So what did the surrender of Japan imply? Japan surrendered to USA.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of things did it lead to?
Ma'am, the World War II led to the emergence of two world powers, USA and Russia. And then further it led to Cold War between the two.
Yes, but more than that, it had one important thing. Japan was forbidden to engage in militarization, ever. But I'm asking you this question because there has been a reversal. Also, Japan was also asked not to go in for any nuclear experiments. Now, both these decisions have been reversed by Japan. So this is the important reason why I'm asking you this question, is that Japan has gone back on this policy which has been there since World War II. Okay,
right.
So it's important to be a doctor. It's also important to know what's going on around you.
Yes,
okay, Mr. Shah.
One related question. Your opinion, you are from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
With the crucial problem in your perception Haryana is facing?
Sir, Haryana is facing various problems. In the socially, sir, there is a problem of skewed sex ratio and patriarchy. Sir, economically, in the agriculture, because of the prevalence of green revolution and cropping of rice and wheat, there is problem of groundwater contamination. There is problem of stubble burning. Also, sir, economically, there is regional inequalities because of expansion of industries and...
Okay, regional inequality.
Yes, sir.
Next.
So these are the major issues which I feel.
One problem, the sale of wives from the West Bengal, Northeast, Haryana is number one. A good number of thousands. Don't you feel such a inhuman their language is different. Have you ever come across of any of such family?
Sir, I have been living in Chandigarh actually since my birth, so I have not been familiar with the any family who has done this.
Okay, now just one more related. You mentioned all school, this and that. As ma'am, the curriculum is a very important. Will you be able to change that until unless political power supports you? Will not be.
Sir, I think recently the national education policy has come out.
We leave it that, your own experience. You have studied physics, chemistry, maths, bio, etc. In bio, we go for dissection of earthworm, rabbit, everything. I think human body is minimum, isn't it? At least in BSc course.
Yes, sir.
Don't you feel there is more emphasis should be on those aspects?
Definitely, sir. Till now, there is more focus on factual learning and rote learning. But I feel that there has to be an improvement in the practical skills and the clinical skills.
Okay, now can we medical science?
Yes, sir.
20th century, the radical medical inventions which changed the face of medical sciences. If you can go 19th century, 18th century, 20th century, your choice.
Right, sir.
That has changed the face of humanity. Backward or 17th, 18th, 19th, or whatever way you like.
So I feel in the 19th century, in the late 19th century, with the coming of the diagnostic machines like ultrasound and other.
Okay, yes, late 19th century, yes, or the beginning of the 20th century.
Yes.
X-ray, okay,
Yes.
good.
So that made a good.
Okay, just need not.
Okay.
I don't know. Second.
So second, then in the 20th century, we see the innovation of the generic drugs, which has greatly reduced the prices of drugs and has become accessible to affordable to people.
As a layman, I don't understand the generic. You have to tell me that exact
Yes, sir.
medicine.
So normally, when the brand.
No, no explanation.
So generic medicines are the drugs which have the same salt as the
No,
costly drugs.
I don't want to discuss that.
Okay, yes, sir.
That followed. This is the one. Other than this?
So then, inventing the vaccines is a very innovative.
Vaccine you will, which century you would like?
So I cannot exactly remember.
First vaccine?
So it was against smallpox.
Smallpox. And which century it was?
So in the 20th century.
No. It is 18th century, Xena. It's a long history. But okay, let's focus only on 20th century.
Yes, sir.
Need not go.
And but so today, now we are having more advancements in vaccines like
What
the
about
first mRNA vaccine.
Penicillin.
Yes, sir.
Then this the polio. Don't you feel it is quite revolutionary in medical sciences?
The invention of penicillin was a revolution because it was the first antibiotic and has done a great.
What steps should be for that our students are going for Ukraine, China? That is because this the cost is the only reason.
Sir, I feel that there are many reasons why people are going to Ukraine, Russia for the medical education. So first is that the degree of Ukraine and Russia is globally recognized and also recognized by the National Medical Commission. Number two is, sir, that
in India, no, they need not going for the tests.
Yes, sir. Sir, but it is recognized and they have to appear for the foreign medical graduation test. But now it has been subsumed under the next test.
Just last. The important three moments you feel influence.
So first is, I feel that the three women who are influencing. First is Ma'am IPS Bedi, who has done a lot of reforms. Next is, sir, the internationally Kamala Harris, Vice President of US. And third, sir, I feel Priyanka Chopra is a very influential personality and has worked for women empowerment.
That actress?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir.
Okay, you are a medical student. Can you recall any IAS who was again a doctor earlier also?
Yes, sir. So there is Dr. Rajendra Bharud from Maharashtra cadre, who is an IAS and is also famous for the pre-COVID measures like increase in the oxygen plants and was helped in the managing the COVID crisis.
Okay. You also said when ma'am was asking you a question that you told us the story of that girl and you said that because there was no PHC, that's why she couldn't go there. Don't you think that you can solve the problem in a better way if you go to PHC? If the doctors are available in the PHC, why should they join IAS? Nobody wants to go to the PHC. It runs on the bharosa of the compounders.
Sir, I feel that doctors do go to PHCs also, but in general we have a shortage of doctors.
The more so the reason for you not joining IAS.
Sir, I feel that in civil services also, sir, there is a shortage, and overall the percentage of doctors who are selected in civil services will not solve the problem of the shortage as such.
Recently, our EM said, Dr. S. Jaishankar, while commenting on India-Pakistan relation, it said that it cannot go into a dialogue. India cannot go into a dialogue because of the country which is epicenter of terrorism. Do you agree with him? If yes, why? If not, why not?
Sir, I think I agree with Dr. S. Jaishankar's
reason.
comment. So, because I feel that since the history times, India has always cooperated with Pakistan, and even we formed the SARC international organization, but it was Pakistan who again did the terrorist attacks on India and have always broken the trust. But sir, now in the future times, if they are agreeing to a stricter implementation against the terrorist.
But why it is called epicenter of terrorism?
Because sir, it is considered that they are responsible for funding the terrorism. They are funding them, and a lot of terrorist camps are placed there.
Are you on social media?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that a bureaucrat, he should be on social media?
Sir, I think a bureaucrat can be on social media, but since he is working in the public interest and is a public personality, so he has to restrain himself from, he has to self-regulate and restrain from giving speech and writing anything. He has to think before writing and speaking anything.
My last question. One of your hobby is Bhangra.
Yes, sir.
Why not Gidda?
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel Gidda is a subtype of Bhangra. And though initially it was considered that Bhangra is a male dance and Gidda is a female dance, but sir, today it has been realized that there are various all-women Bhangra teams.
What are non-food items in National Food Security Act? Entitlement.
So there is kerosene oil, but some states.
In the NFSA, there is no mention of kerosene oil.
So you have asked the non-food items.
Non-food entitlements. Okay, let's not call it items. Entitlements.
Okay. So under the National Food Security Act, there is an entitlement of provision of rice, wheat.
Oh, those are food grain. I am telling non-food grain.
Sir, I think I need to be. I need to read upon this.
Okay. There are some changes in National Food Security Act now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is it?
Sir, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana has been ended now, which was providing
that
the
was
free
never
food
part
grains.
of National Food Security
And
Act.
sir, now the food grains under the National Food Security Act will be provided free of cost to the beneficiaries.
Okay. Do you think it is a wise move?
Sir, I think it is a move,
Okay.
a wise move.
In the National Family Health Survey, which indicators of maternal health or child health are unresolvable? That means they are not showing any change or there is no improvement, and which are the indicators where there is satisfactory improvement?
Sir, in the National Health Family Survey.
Family health survey.
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel that there has been less improvement in the areas of malnutrition.
Such
because,
as?
sir, stunting reduced 1% from the 4th.
Okay.
Stunting and the
wasting,
malnutrition.
okay.
Number
fine.
2 is, sir, the anemia rates also. It has been just slightly decreased. Like now it is 57 and earlier it was 60.
What is the percentage of routine immunization in NFHSA?
Sir, it is 95%.
All immunization?
No, sir. So not in all, but many of the states have now been able to reach 95 to 97% of immunization.
Okay. Anjali, how do you see development in Afghanistan and Pakistan affecting India?
Sir, I think the developments in Pakistan and Afghanistan are a concern for us, because one is that it can affect the security of our country, and if they engage together and they can have a opposing attack on India also. But sir, I think the regime in Afghanistan, that is Taliban, is also focusing on improving the ties with India. So sir, I think in the future we will be able to tackle our neighborhood and with good cooperation and engagement.
How do you see change in Nepal affecting India?
Sir, I think that in today's time there has been increasing influence of China over Nepal and increasing ties of China with Nepal. So that can affect India. But sir, again, I feel that with more engagement, ties and bilateral talks, we can improve our relations.
Okay. How do you see Act East policy happening?
So the Act East policy focuses on our eastern neighbors, and sir, as India has a dominant role and it acts as a big brother to the neighboring countries. So I feel with the more initiatives and with the more organizations like ASEAN and the Indo-Pacific strategies, we can boost more ties and trade relations with the eastern countries.
Okay, so the interview is over.